When I found out my boyfriend was cheating on me with a woman 10 years his senior, I slept with his uncle. When it's all over, I pulled myself out of bed. I slipped into a dress I'd discarded the night before. Strolling over to the weathered wooden table, I noticed Jaden's pack of cigarettes. I picked one up, studying it. Are Broberg cigarettes any good? I asked, my voice tinged with curiosity. Jaden, his breathing finally steady, gave me a half-lidded look. Want to try one? I paused, then shook my head. I'm afraid I might get addicted. Smoking's an expensive habit. Jaden, leaning casually on his side, his towel barely hanging on, raised an eyebrow. But addiction didn't scare you when you decided to try me. His voice was low, teasing. I chuckled, shrugging. You don't cost much, I said, not sure why I felt the need to joke. The smile on his face faded, replaced by a piercing look. You've got guts, playing with me. My chest tightened. He was right, and I knew it. After all, he was Jaden Lennon, the youngest uncle of my fiancé, Leonardo Jennings. A tension hung between us, and I found myself suddenly asking, you've known for a while, right, that they're not really related by blood? Jaden seemed to expect the question. He gave a small nod, indifferent. Of course, my last name's Lennon, hers is Sideris. I swallowed hard, the memory of what I'd seen last night creeping back. I always thought they were family, until I walked in on them. The pain hit me, unexpectedly, and I felt my breath hitch. I quickly masked it, blinking back the sting of tears. You think it's normal, Leonardo with someone so much older? Jaden gave me a long look, then answered coolly, is that why you came to me? I didn't answer, instead pushing him for the truth. Answer me first. Jaden shrugged, uninterested. I don't know him that well. People like what they like. You don't have a thing for younger guys. His words stung, but I wasn't about to back down. I don't prefer younger men. I prefer you, I said, more honestly than I expected. Jaden didn't respond, instead telling me to leave. Take my car. Flight back tomorrow morning. I'll have someone pick up the car. Confused, frustrated, I asked, are you kicking me out? Jaden's response was icy. Is that a problem? You shouldn't be here. I'm not someone you can play with. His tone left no room for argument. My heart pounded, and I muttered under my breath, scumbag. His sharp gaze caught mine immediately. Without a word, he grabbed my chin, tilting my head up to meet his eyes. His voice was low, menacing. Don't use me for your revenge. Or, my defiance flared. Or what? He just smirked, his eyes narrowing. Try me. You'll find out. I stood up straight, meeting his gaze with determination. I'm not afraid, I said, knowing full well how dangerous this game could be. For the first time in years, I felt alive, reckless, but alive. The night dragged on. I eventually fell asleep, though it was fitful, disturbed by the events of the night. When I woke up, Jaden was gone, his phone flashing with missed calls. Leonardo's name lit up the screen. I answered groggily. Where are you? He asked, concern heavy in his voice. I mumbled a room number, realizing too late that it was Jaden's room, not mine. Panicking, I scrambled to get dressed, but couldn't find my underwear. I grabbed what I could and rushed out, hoping to get to my room before Leonardo caught up with me. As I closed the door behind me, I realized I'd left my keycard in the room. Of course, just as I realized that, Leonardo appeared in the hallway, suitcase in hand. He didn't hesitate before pulling me into his arms, apologizing profusely for not being there the night before. I'm sorry, babe, he said, kissing my forehead. I promise I'll never make you mad again. I couldn't bring myself to smile. He still thought this was just about him being a mama's boy. Let's get your suitcase inside, he suggested, noticing my discomfort. We can grab a bite. I invited Uncle Jaden. I stiffened. I left my keycard in the room, I murmured, suddenly all too aware of how badly I was dressed. No problem, Leonardo said, squeezing my hand. We'll go without it. I'll drop my suitcase at the front desk. I couldn't protest. I had no choice but to follow him downstairs. The restaurant was just around the corner, but the moment we walked in, I was struck by the crowd in the private room. Jaden's friends were there. Some I recognized, others I didn't. Leslie, one of Leonardo's university friends, waved us over. Come on, take a seat. We've been waiting for you. He pulled me down next to him, and as I scanned the room, my eyes collided with Jaden's. He raised an eyebrow but said nothing. I shifted uncomfortably in my seat, trying to avoid his gaze. The embarrassment was unbearable. Primrose, are you cold? Leslie asked, glancing at me with concern. I shook my head quickly, trying to brush it off, but I could feel Jaden's eyes on me, aware of the tension in the air. The smell of his cigarettes lingered in my senses, and all I could think about was the night before. Leonardo seemed oblivious to everything. Sorry we're late, he said, smiling at the table. I'll drink 3 glasses of wine as punishment. Leslie, who was clearly in a teasing mood, looked at me and added, you both seem a little distracted. Is everything okay? Leonardo, clearly uncomfortable, changed the subject. We've been busy, no time for anything else. But Leslie wasn't done. Didn't Jaden have a woman in his room last night? Someone was making quite a racket. I froze. I had no idea how to respond. Leonardo didn't seem to notice my discomfort. It was probably nothing, he said dismissively, but Jaden didn't seem to care. Some people just can't keep quiet after eating, he said, his tone dry as he sipped his drink. I couldn't hide my face fast enough, mortified by the insinuation. I had no idea how long I could keep up the charade.